This week on HMP, we look back at the movie that defines what Thanksgiving is all about. Suffering with the people that annoy you. Welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Welcome back, you dirty babies. It's time for another Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, he's choking on his chew. Sweet Sean Zakovacs from the internet.
I'm what?
Choking on your chew. Shaw. One of those.
I see.
And he longs for the days of magic fingers in hotels. Bruce Leslie.
Oh, man. I miss the days of the doobie cap.
Who doesn't? Well, welcome back to HMP, everybody. We are wrapping up Thanksgiving Candy, a series of films from the late, great John Candy. And our final film in this series is Thanksgiving's own Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I feel like this is most people's kind of go-to Thanksgiving film, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah.
I realized last night that I have not seen this movie in a million years. I typically don't watch movies on Thanksgiving or even around Thanksgiving.
Movies, like you've been doing this for 10 years. What are you talking about? You don't normally watch movies. Okay, on Thanksgiving.
Around Thanksgiving, I don't. And so we'll get into it, but I had a realization while watching it last night why I haven't watched this movie in a long time, and we'll get into it.
Mm-hmm. But before we jump into our review, we want to remind everyone that this show that you're listening to right now is a live stream over on YouTube, and we're doing it in two fashions now because it just broadens the audience even more. We're doing it in our regular horizontal view, and welcome everybody, our vertical viewers. So we got a vertical view, a horizontal view. Next week, we're doing an upside down review. I don't know how we're going to pull this one off. We're going to put together, I'm going to try something or other. But thank you guys for checking out the stream and everything. We really appreciate it. Hit that like and subscribe button. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I've got a video here on how to actually hit that hype button, believe it or not. Check this out. So at the top here, this is the mid-level media channel. You just scroll over to the side there, hit that hype button, and boom. You've actually gone through and hyped a video. Who knew that was possible? It is now according to YouTube. So go check all that out and hit that hype button. I think you can do it 2 or 3 times per video per week, is for like a week or whatever, and it just kind of gets stuff out there for other people to check out. So it's kind of like a super like button, and it's only available for small little creators like us. So get on that hype train and hit that button. We really appreciate that. And of course, why don't you check out TikTok Trash Tuesday? That is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I go out onto the movie TikTok and find anybody that's doing anything movie related. I save that bad boy after I watch about 2 or 3 seconds of it. Then we get on the air and talk about whatever topic these people have been talking about on movie TikTok there and everything. So check out TikTok Trash Tuesday. We had a whole bunch of people in this last week and everything, and that was really, really awesome. So thank you guys so much for checking all that kind of good stuff out. Links are in the show notes for all of those guys. So we really appreciate it. And if you really, really love this show, why don't you head on down to patreon.com/HMP. Those people get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone. And the Dinger Zone this week, we are doing our top 5, what do you call them? Road trip movies. That's what it is. So we're going to be covering those over there on HMP as well. And we'd like to thank all the dirty babies over there at patreon.com/HMP. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate you. What else? Okay, let's see. I did all those things. Let's get into it. Why don't we do that, boys? Here is the IMDb plot line for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. A Chicago advertising man must struggle to travel home from New York for Thanksgiving with a lovable oaf of a shower curtain ring salesman as his only companion. I hate that. You suck, IMDb. It's just it was awkward. This was written and directed by John Hughes. Don't know if you've heard of him. Starring Steve Martin, John Candy, Layla. There we go. I feel like there should be a Y instead of an I. It doesn't make sense to me. Layla Robbins, Michael McKean, Kevin Bacon, Dylan Baker, Edie McClure, Larry Hankin, and Marty Fierro. Yeah, man. This, like I said, this was a very common Thanksgiving film for most folks and everything. But Sean, what's your kind of history? What's you hadn't seen this in some time? I recently just saw it last year because it released out on 4K, which, by the way, I learned again this year while popping in that 4K disc, it doesn't look good. You know, it does look good. The digital copy that came with it, that looks fantastic. But the DVD itself, dark and grungy. I don't know what's going on. Makes me mad. But so I've seen it just as recently. Bruce, been a while?
Oh yeah, I watch it about every 2 years. I aim to watch it every year, and then I succeed about half the time. So I'd say I watch about every 2 years.
That makes about sense. So Sean, what's your hold up? What's your hang up?
Well, it wasn't like I set out to not watch this movie in forever, but I realized something while watching this last night. So this is one of those movies where when you first see it as a kid, you're like, oh, Steve Martin and John Candy are being funny, right? And so that's the first phase of watching this movie, and that's where I was. It's just like, Steve Martin being uptight, Steve Martin in the movie, very funny. John Candy being loud, boisterous, very funny, right? And, you know, and the two don't like each other. I'm on board. Love it. Then you get older and you realize that there's a lot of substance to this movie, a lot more than you realize if you're just, you know, like watching it in the background kind of a thing. Like you understand, this movie's trying to say something too, which is lovely, right? Lovely message in this movie. However, I am an adult who's constantly having to travel. And so as an adult, I realized last night watching this, this is why I haven't watched this movie in a long time. This movie stresses me the hell out.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, what Steve Martin and John Candy are doing it is just amazing. Their performances are incredible in this movie. With that being said, this is the most stress-inducing movie. Like there's different, like, you know, like there's certain people who can't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm because of the stress levels. Like I don't have that problem with Curb Your Enthusiasm. With this movie in particular, it's a type of stress that gets me so hard. And I said that wrong, but
I was going to let you go with it.
It really hits my stress button like no other movie can. And it starts right out of the gate where he pulls out his ticket and you see it's 6 o'clock and you see how much time he has. And immediately I'm put on my haunches because I know what that feeling is. And somebody is taking their damn sweet time. And why don't you shut up so we can go? Like that is constantly in my life. Like I'm always watching a ticking clock. Like how much time do we have? And sometimes it feels like time is going by way too fast. Sometimes time is going by way too slow. But travel specifically, travel level stress is what I didn't even realize it until last night. It's one of my biggest hot buttons. And so there were big swaths of time where I would, you know what, I've got to go do my laundry right now as the movie is going on because I could not sit and watch this movie. I couldn't even be in the same room with it because I was so stressed out by it.
I understand what you're saying because I had a very specific kind of anxiousness when I was watching it because I'm flying to Charlotte Thanksgiving Day.
Oh,
and you know, nothing ever goes wrong when you're flying the morning of Thanksgiving. So
no,
I'm sitting there watching
right
it really
now. I mean, there's tons of air traffic controllers, we got full staffs on board, so you should be fine.
But the central premise of this movie is that there are two kinds of travelers.
Right.
And I think it begs the question of everyone who watches this, which one of these guys are you? And
right.
Which one of these guys do you think I am, Sean? Because I'm just kind of curious how you would perceive. Which do you think I'm more, Steve Martin or John Candy?
I would think that you're more Steve Martin than John Candy because I like, even though you present yourself on this show as a happy-go-lucky fella, I think that you are. I think that you contain multitudes, and I would think that you have a persnickety nature when it comes to certain things, and I think this is one of them. Am I correct?
Yes. And my wife and I actually talked about this movie this week, and she came to the very accurate conclusion that this is us every time we travel. And she owns up to being John Candy. Like she's proud that she's the John Candy. And I am such a Steve Martin. So my source of anxiety is like, there are two kinds of people in this world, and they marry each other. You know, that's a meme that goes around. That, like, boy, it seems to be true when I'm watching Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Throw 3 kids into the mix and see how exciting this trip can get. But yeah, the fact that we don't get divorced every time we even go to the grocery store together is amazing.
So Adam, now I present this question to you, and I'll go next. Are you more the John Candy traveler or the Steve Martin traveler?
It's Steve Martin. Number one, I'm a pretty punctual person. If people know me, I do not like being late to anything. It's just like, to me, it's just ultimate kind of rudeness and everything. And I don't want to be that guy. And driving home, I'm stressed out because no one is driving correctly. You know, it murders me. But luckily, I've gotten to the point where I don't dwell on it. I have what I call the Homer Simpson waves, where you can be yelling and screaming and then whistling 2 seconds later. Like, that's where, like, you know, you have your moment, you explode a little bit, and then you're just back to normal. Just have your quick breakdown, and then just be back to, you know, you don't want to dwell in the hate. And I've learned to do that over the years, and I feel like that's been kind of a smart move. It's just scream at somebody, then you're just fine. But yeah, I don't like any of it. And I also am someone who feels like everything bad is going to be happening and is constantly happening to me, and anything that could go wrong, it most assuredly will, especially if you're pressed for something.
Yes,
that is 100% everything in there. But yeah, I'm watching the exact same way, just going like, I want to jump out of my body, because it is just like, but I relate to it so well. I guess that's why I like it, where it's just like, maybe thank God it's not me kind of thing.
Well, right. Sean, I have my suspicions, but where do you think you come down on this spectrum?
There is one big difference between the Steve Martin character and me. I'm far more Steve Martin than John Candy, as I'm sure you two have guessed already, just based on your interactions with me over the years. But I think that the biggest difference is that when Steve Martin's buddy is like, just take the 8 o'clock, man. Like 6 o'clock, you put too much on you. That's me. That's what I do. Like, I give myself enough time so that I'm not losing my mind at the airport, because I've learned over time that, look, it's way better to have to sit around and be bored for a little bit than to just like firing on all cylinders every step of the way until we get home. Like, that's not the way to do it.
White knuckling it while you're, you know, waiting to get on board or anything else like that. Just like, am I going to make it? No, you need to know that you're going to make it. That's silly.
And that's something that I learned over time. Like, I think in my 20s, I would have, you know, I would have ridden the snake like Steve Martin does in this movie when it comes to travel. But for me now, there is no way in hell I'm taking the 6 o'clock flight. I'm taking the 8 like his buddy. Like, there's no way that I would take that 6 o'clock.
I just thought about it watching, though, is that I don't think
hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. So the other part to this too is that I am very good at being able to pivot on new information, whereas it seems like Steve Martin is always stuck, right? Like, oh my God, I can't believe we have to do this other thing. I'm not that way, unless it has to deal with work. But then at that point, that's not on me. That is on the production, and I don't have to worry about that. I'm sorry. Go, Adam.
No, I was just saying it's the same sort of deal. I'm kind of the same way, where it's just like I'm able to pivot. Like, I'm mad about the situation, but I'm not going to sit there and dwell in that. I've learned not to do that. It's called, okay, you can't cry over spilled milk. You got to, like, you know, go on here and figure out the next thing. And that's something I've definitely learned to do over time. And again, these are all learned things, people. You have to, especially if you're, you know, have personalities like ours and stuff. Sometimes you got to sit back and be like, I need to make a concerted effort not to go bananas.
Right.
And when it is time to pivot, for me, I'm so single-minded that until I get that plan B in place, that is the only thing I'm capable of working on. But then once I've got that plan B in place, it's like all the stress goes away and then I can relax. But but you know, during the pivotization, if you want to call it that, I am very, very much not a person you want to be around. But then once it's in place, then it's nothing but relaxation.
There's also the other part to this too, which is that Steve Martin at the airport, he's hoping that he's going to make it home at the airport. At that point, I'm renting a car. Like that, there's no waiting around. I'm renting a car. I'm driving, and that's the difference.
Because it's like a 10-hour drive, so you could like it's not impossible. It's not like a bad trip. It's not
I've
great.
done it.
It's not ideal.
I've literally done that before.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of on him.
It couldn't be that different than New York to Huntington. That I mean, that's our primary way of traveling to New York now as we drive.
Oh wow,
I mean, it's about
really?
9, 10
With the kids and
hours.
everything,
Yeah.
you're going
Yep.
19 hours?
With the kids and everything, our youngest is 15.
Right, I
So they're
know.
young adults.
It's which makes it worse.
Yeah. Parts in the car. Come on, forget about it.
No. When they were toddlers, you can't put them in a car that long. But now they've all got phones and Beats by Dre and crap, and I don't know,
it's
ticking
a
and
cult.
talking and all that kind of stuff.
Look at your phone and stop talking.
But I'm telling you, by the time you fly 5 kids, get two cabs for 5 people in your luggage, it's best just to drive.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
It's true.
What a
You
trip.
drive, you park at the Port Authority and take the subway to your hotel on near Times Square.
But I used to do like, Charlotte to Orlando. I mean, and that was like 8-9 hours. It's like, that wasn't bad. It's like, it's not the ideal. You'd rather, maybe whatever, but it's not the worst of the world.
Yeah, for a holiday.
But yeah, so what, as far as John Candy characters go, because this is kind of John Candy month here and everything. And it is the line from this movie is the title of the documentary that we saw at the beginning of the month here and everything. So I think that this is very much seen as one of his kind of, quintessential films. That's the word I was looking for.
Right.
Does it feel like that, upon this watch and everything of like, this feels like, I've seen other people say it, and I think I might agree that this may be his best performance.
It is.
I think it's
the one where he's able to go and start being considered for dramatic stuff, right? After this movie, it's no longer like, hey, let's put him in a stupid looking costume and then have him run around. Like after this movie, they're putting him in serious movies and things that you wouldn't necessarily think of using John Candy for until this movie. This was the one that really like cemented his place.
And this is out of the same year Spaceballs, which I thought was funny.
Say what?
And I'm going to say,
Adam, what'd you just say? I couldn't hear what you said.
This came out the same year as Spaceballs, which we did last week and everything.
Right.
So I found that to be quite interesting of like, wow, could you get 2 different characters that are any further apart than Barf and this guy?
And I think something that's special about this too is it's just one-on-one, sharing almost every scene together, him and Steve Martin. And when John Candy is able to shine that bright above Steve Martin, who is a well-established, marketable Hollywood comedy star, and they see those guys side by side, and they're like, "Oh wow, this guy really is good."
Well,
sometimes you see.
Go ahead.
There's a difference in in seeing like UNC Chapel Hill really roll over High Point, and a difference between seeing them roll over Duke. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like when you see the level of competition, even though it's not competition in acting, but just what you have to compare against really, really helps you appreciate just how brightly John Candy's shining here versus if you say, well, it's easy for him to look good when he's surrounded by children and dogs.
I think that the biggest feat of John Candy in this movie is the thing that I have talked about in the past, which is that it's really hard to play a character that is despicable or dislikable that you still like the character. Bill Murray has that ability to play a complete scumbag and you still like that character anyway. And John Candy, although not a scumbag in this movie, he is one of the most annoying people ever in this movie. And you still like the guy anyway. And that's really, really difficult to pull off.
The
tough line.
The thing I found most striking about John Candy in this movie was the hair. I was convinced at one point it was a wig. Then I was convinced it wasn't a wig. And I wouldn't mind hearing what you guys think about, like, did they have little tiny curlers? Because that is not the texture of John Candy's hair.
No, I thought about this. This is the first time I really kind of looked at the same thing. Even though I watched it last year, I had the thought this year. I was just like, oh, I totally did not see how them giving him a perm this entire, it's great.
Because I guess it could be a perm. Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. And it shapes his head and face in a different kind of way. I don't know, just between all of the elements in there, between the mustache and the hair and the way that he dresses and everything, there's a synergy to all of it that truly works.
And I feel like it's a totally different John Candy. Just the little mustache that he has feels different. I mean, the hair feels different. Somehow they found a way to take a star who's so big, it's hard not to see the star instead of the character, and they still managed to have me see the character.
Hold on.
Fortress Bucks.
Trillian says, I'm watching both the horizontal and vertical version, the HMP limits. And there's a fun reverb coming out over my sound system. That's hilarious. Hey, listen, Matt's out here actually doubling our numbers by himself. God bless you, Matt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I love how these two get together and everything. And just Dell has what I call the William Shatner, which is he's a complete and utter turd. He's very self-centered and everything, but doesn't seem to realize it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really bother. And he looks at everybody else like, what's the big deal? What's going on? It's like, no, you're being very self-centered right now. But like, well, yeah, I'm me, and I'm the only one here. It's like he has a lot of that where it's like, oh, now I'm going to take off my shoes. How do I? That is the point in the movie where I am just like, I'm going bananas. You're sitting here in this, like, he gets pushed back from first class to coach, which I love how coach is just like, you're going to the dregs of society with this. So he's sitting there with him and everything, and him just like taking off the shoes and like, oh, like. I feel like we've all met this person or maybe sat beside them at some point where it is just like they are doing every single thing they can in their system just to drive you bananas. And it just, that's not what they're trying to do, but it is what they are indeed doing. And then the sock comes off and you're like, oh, this is even worse. What are we doing?
At the risk of sounding a little too much like Quentin Tarantino, it's never the feet you want to see that get shown either.
Yeah, it's called, let's bring out these dogs here in the middle of everything. No, thank you. They said I saw a thing on IMDb and a couple other little places and everything that talk about how they had like an almost 3 to 4 hour version of this movie.
Right.
I still have to start telling people these are not cuts of the movie. When people hear that, this is an assembly edit. They took everything that they had, threw it on a timeline, and that's why it's there. And that's why you can't even see it now, because they're like, everything was kind of out of order. I'm like, yeah, that's an assembly cut. That's not a full edit of the entire thing. Some of these people, I don't know where they get their information from. But
you know where it comes from, because it's that one guy, right? The guy that I told you about like 2-3 weeks ago, whenever it was, where I was like, oh, there's a missing edit to Uncle Buck. It's the same thing with this movie, where every joke that Steve Martin and John Candy do, because that's the way they shot this movie also, is they just put it all together in one gigantic like John Hughes cut, so John Hughes could watch it and go, that joke works, that joke doesn't, that joke works, that joke, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and yes, it's 3.5 hours when you got Steve Martin noodling, yes.
Thank goodness John Candy was not one to improv much.
Right. Right.
Just let him go.
Sure.
I think the part that I respect about his character more than anything in this movie is the absolute hustle and drive of this man. They need to get home, and he is out here hawking shower curtain rings as everything under the sun, save for a shower curtain. They're just like, oh, these are earrings. Oh, this will be a mood ring or some shit. And people are literally buying it. Like, it may be the most unbelievable thing in the entire movie, but it is fun to think that, like, oh, he's just that charismatic.
I kept wondering, like, why does he haul that gigantic trunk everywhere with him? Because that's the most inconvenient luggage known to man. But I think that's where all the shower rings are, because it doesn't seem heavy. Like, the trunk is big, but it seems light. So I think it's filled with shower rings, or shower curtain rings, rather.
I like how he has all different types and everything. He's got like
Yeah.
the little wallet that he pulls out that's got all the different types and everything in it. So you can just be like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Flip. Shows you like he's looking at your kids or something like that.
I also kind of wonder if this movie isn't an example of slow down and you'll go faster. Kind of like if they didn't just rush to the first available option every time they're trying to move. If they'd taken their time, they might have actually gotten home much easier, because that's one thing I've had to kind of learn is like, you know what? Don't take the first option. Let's make sure that that really is the option we need to take before we make up our mind. But here it's like they're so they're rushing so hard that they're not thinking clearly, and that's
right.
It's being counterproductive.
It's the Navy surgeon's credo. It's slow as steady, steady as fast, fast save lives. Yeah.
But it's
NASCAR
like it also comes to me where it's just like whatever I do is going to be wrong. Whatever choice I make, that's going to be the wrong one. So I've learned to just be fine with it after a while. Just go like, listen, I'm going like if we're you're at a grocery store and there's like 4 lines, I'm going to get into the wrong one. If I decide, I'm going to move into this line that's moving faster, guess what? That's going to be the one that's slow now. It's whatever I do. It's called the portrait luck. We just have to learn to embrace it and just go, this is my lot. I'm just going to have to live through this.
If worse comes to worse, I just confess to an unsolved murder and they extradite me back home.
Yeah.
I always go with the Apu method. Remember when Apu is no longer working at the Quickie Mart, and so he's helping Homer and Marge at their house, and Apu and Marge go to the grocery store one day, and Apu says to Marge, "Don't go in that line. Go in this line." That line has a man a man buying groceries. He wants to get out of here as fast as possible, and the cashier doesn't have time to listen to your stupid thing. The other line is a lady. The cashier is a talker, and I was like, oh man! And so I look out for that all the time now. Thanks, Simpsons.
Those floors are sticky marked. Thanks, Bronson.
But I think this might be John Hughes' favorite movie that he ever made. I mean, of his oeuvre. And the reason I think that is because he remade part of it in Home Alone just a couple of years later.
It's true.
Because I mean, this really is summarized in Catherine O'Hara trying to get home, and they even brings John Candy back in for it.
Yeah.
Now, contrary to popular belief, if you see a half a second of it, you might think, "Oh, this is the Home Alone house, very similar to the Home Alone house, but not the Home."
I would have sworn it was.
There was a time I would have argued this point, but it is definitely not.
Yeah, it's close, but like the Home Alone house is nicer, if we're honest.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've learned over the years, and it was a hard lesson, but I've learned that things like the Home Alone house aren't really important enough to argue about in the first place. So right or wrong, I don't care.
No, I die on every hill, Bruce Leslie, every hill. I gotta talk about Dylan Baker in this movie.
Oh,
This is the only role that I can remember where where he's a character like this. Every other character he's ever played that I've ever seen him in is him being evil and loving it. And then there's Dylan Baker in this movie. It's kind of like when you see you catch a glimpse of the guy who played Data on Next Generation,
Brent Spiner.
Right, thank you. And you see him on Night Court, and you're like, that's the same guy? Because that's what this feels like to me. Clearly it's Dylan Baker. Dylan Baker will look the same whether he's 20 or 85 years old because he just has one of those faces.
Yeah.
But these are two totally different people who Dylan Baker plays now versus Dylan Baker in this movie, who has the line that from this movie that everybody in my school has said at one time or another.
I
She had a
watched an
baby,
episode.
came out sideways, didn't scream or nothing.
I watched an episode of Columbo last night that had Leslie Nielsen as an organized crime operative and playing it straight serious. So I totally kept waiting for him to like trip or go to the bathroom or something, and it never happened.
I don't believe that you watched an episode of Columbo last night.
I did.
Really?
There's a Columbo channel on the Roku TV. You can watch it anytime, day or night.
He is really starting to show his age now, isn't he? It's nice.
Wow.
I've come to a realization. If we ever want to talk Columbo, I can for a long time. But I found out that Columbo is actually a really bad show with one great character in it. And
which is not how you want to recommend television shows for sure.
It's not. It's not a good show, but it's worth watching Peter Falk do his thing.
And it's the exact same show every show. And so, like, even the beats are always the same.
I mean, it's just like they took Poker Face and turned Natasha Lyonne into a guy.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like that.
Okay, back to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Dylan Baker, probably my favorite, like, supporting character in this. And we got a lot of colorful characters. But just like all the stuff he says on the pickup truck, like the things you were saying about his wife, I brought her with me and she didn't scream or nothing. Like, that's another great line he has, the look on his face. But Edie McClurg is great at the rental car place where Steve Martin is just unloading on her. And I'm really against Steve Martin here because, he's had a rough day, but zero of it was Edie McClurg's fault. So I love it when she gets to kind of casually get the last laugh in that conversation. I don't know, were there other kind of Michael McKean is the cop? Did you guys catch that?
Oh yeah. But what's he like, fourth or fifth build, and he's on screen for like 2.5 minutes?
Can you miss it?
But I mean, that's always how it goes with those kind of actors, right? I mean, you've got the like again, Ferris Bueller's dad shows up at the beginning of the movie. Like you've got all of these people who are just in that Hughes atmosphere, right?
And last week with Michael Winslow, it's like, you're in here for 2 seconds. You get a credit. You get a full credit screen with your face.
Doobie, the cab driver, was Mr. Heckles on Friends, from what I've been told.
It feels like Hollywood was way more fun in the 80s. Look, cocaine aside, it just feels like everybody was just like, oh, hey, let's call her, see if she'll do it. Oh, let's call him, see if he'll do it. Like there was a lot more of that then than there is now, I think.
I liked it because movies were shot to look like movies. Like when I'm watching a movie, I know I'm watching a movie. Like there is no convincing me that this is like just some footage on somebody's phone that they took of their uncles traveling. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And somewhere along the way, I felt like there was a lot of value being put on hyper realism on screen. And I kind of miss that 80s John Hughes style of shooting where you're watching a movie, but that's okay because you didn't come to the theater by mistake. You know what I mean? I like that a little bit more than some stuff that is a little bit more hyper realistic now. I
think after Nora Ephron died, that was like the last person who was directing movies that looked like movies, quite honestly.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't have been able to come up with her name on my own, but I mean, I'm following your sentiment.
I got a question that's unanswerable here, which is you've got Matthew Lawrence in this movie, who is the third youngest Lawrence boy, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
I thought
he was number 2, but
maybe
I got kicked out of the Lawrence Brothers fan club years ago, so I don't know.
It's because all that Corey love you kept trying to ram into their hearts. But my question is this, so Matthew Lawrence is in this movie, right? Which tells you that he more than likely read for other parts. So like you got Macaulay in Uncle Buck, you got Matthew Lawrence in this. You got to figure that he probably read for Home Alone, don't you think?
Got to.
I mean, if he didn't, his agent let him down because Macaulay Culkin, other than Uncle Buck, largely unknown. Matthew Lawrence comes from his brother, pretty big star, so he's probably got the same representation.
Right. I mean, his brother had been a star for almost 5 years at this point.
His brother had Nell Carter's phone number. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
big deal.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, he's the little boy on Give Me a Break. Like, he was a
Yeah.
big deal. I know this seems impossible, and we sound like the oldest people in the world.
This
guys
movie
that
was
was a
This-
very big deal.
But this movie was made, I think, post Give Me a Break, pre Blossom. So there was a little window where he didn't have as much pull in the industry.
That's true. And he didn't put out that album.
And he's the same age or very roughly there of Macaulay at this at all the times, because they're all still alive. But I wouldn't be shocked if he rode for that, for sure.
Right. He had to have.
He'd have
I
been
feel
too
like-
small, though, I think. Even compared to Macaulay. Macaulay's a little guy, but like he looks Matthew looks even younger than he probably is. Like even more so than Macaulay Culkin.
I think we've all three traveled by train before, right?
Hell yeah, I love traveling by train. It's
Only
awesome.
by Tweetsy Railroad. That's about the only train I've been on. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
You know, when this passenger train that they're on starts spewing out black smoke and then it has to stop and they're all getting off and grabbing their luggage and just walking through the woods at the side of the train tracks? That seemed like the shortest train I've ever seen. And I don't know if there are actually commuter trains that only have like 3 cars on them, or if that's just like John Hughes decided it wasn't worth buying the whole, renting the whole train. So he's like, oh, they won't even see the back half in the shot. And then you saw the back half in the shot.
We can give you 3 cars.
I don't know the answer to that, Bruce. The train I took had many much cars on it, and it went from New York to Philadelphia.
Well, the Cardinal goes from New York to Chicago via Huntington. So I've ridden that one before. And this definitely wasn't but they were out in Wichita or something, weren't they? So who knows what train that is?
When
I
Wichita
imagine-
falls, so falls Wichita Falls.
Imagine Bruce with kind of a bindle on a train. I don't know why.
Oh man, that guy would. That he's got a favorite bindle. If I know my Bruce Leslie enough.
I prefer the paisley to the plaid.
I like all the stupid special effects, the freezing of the faces and stuff. It's so corny 80s and everything, but there's always something about it that I look forward to, that just corny, dumb, like, they've been frozen faced to everything and the dog's frozen and stuff. It's all corny, it's all dumb, but I still kind of have a little chuckle to it. I know it's not funny, but it's funny.
I love the local carnival haunted house effect when they both turn into skeletons when the car is like nearly killing them both. There's like the screen just flashes for about 3 seconds of skeletons in the front seat of the car dressed as if they're Steve Martin and John Candy.
Man, between that and the devil and everything, it scared the piss out of me as a kid, dude. That whole scene, forget about it. This movie was a horror film as far as I was concerned.
Man, I was a large Marge survivor. This did nothing to me.
Not a big fan. But I do love the way that whole scene is shot. Them kind of going the wrong way down the interstate there and everything. The communication with the other shit that's not even possible in the world, but like we make it happen for movies and whatnot.
On the way home from a Pittsburgh Pirates game with a civil engineer who was a friend of mine, he was who drove and I was the passenger. And the baseball game got out, and we decided we would swing by a gentleman's club on the way home, stayed there till it closed for some reason. And then he drove home, and I fell asleep in the passenger seat. And then I just kind of like shifted a little bit and woke up and realized he was on the wrong side of the interstate. Thank goodness it was like 3 a.m. and there was no traffic. So I look and I'm not going to say this guy's name, but I look over and I say, so-and-so, you're going the wrong way on the interstate, buddy. So he turns like U-turn thing that only cops and ambulances are supposed to use and just starts going the wrong way on the other side of the interstate. I'm like, you totally missed the point of what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not saying you're heading north when you should be heading south. You were driving in the left lane. And how about I just drive us home? So I wound up having to drive that trip home because I could not trust him to know which side of the road to be on.
Oof. I think I went down the wrong way once in a news live truck, no less.
If you can't find the news, you make it.
No kidding. The problem is like this is the day of like there's no rear window, there's no no backup cameras. Those things don't exist for another 20 years. So it was like we're just guessing.
So
I'm not a fan.
the hotel scene, I mean, that's the one everybody remembers and talks about the most, right? For this movie over the past 40 years, particularly the "those aren't pillows" scene. I know as a kid, that's what we were all shouting at each other in the hallway in junior high.
It's a great. I love that the whole conceit of everything. This is that like all the hotels are taken up. Dell was the only person, or at least between the two of them, to make a call right away and everything. The setting up for it is fantastic, and especially with how fast supposedly John Hughes wrote all of these things. Very well. He also rewrote a whole bunch of times, so I'm gonna take some of that away.
Yeah, he would do it on set. Yeah.
But this whole thing of the conceit of putting everything together and making sure the two of them end up interacting in one way, shape, or form is done masterfully well. It's really, really smart, and all the things of just kind of forcing those chess pieces to those specific, parts of the board and everything, so the game can play out exactly like he wants it to, and it's believable enough. It's believable enough. And when we get to this hotel that's all disgusting and it's just perfect because the only thing that's available is, of course, gross.
Did you guys have a means of transportation that they used that you found the most entertaining?
No.
I mean, they're all, but I mean, define. Okay, we'll bite. What do you got?
I was just going to say, for me, I thought that the most entertaining part of any of the transportation was on the bus, because something about Steve Martin, and it's not even a Greyhound, it's a Trailways, which is like for the people who weren't classy enough to ride on a Greyhound.
These cost $4.
And I could just imagine if I found myself in a situation where I had to ride more than about 45 minutes in a bus like that, I would be a lot like Steve Martin. And there's like the kid just running up and down the middle with his pinwheels. You got the couple making out and then smoking their cigarettes after they're done. Everything about spending a lot of time on a bus seems awful to me. I would much rather travel in that burned out car than on that bus.
Yeah, the bus is terrible. Like you said, with the kid walking up and down and running all over the place there. And like you said, a pinwheel? That's just the greatest, stupidest ass thing. He's wearing a mask and wearing a pinwheel and jumping around and everything. The people making out and her stopping to look right in his face upside down and everything. It's just like, again, it feels like these are all real people that we've all come across in at least one shape or form of just like these people that just don't realize the rest of society is there.
Yeah, I'm not a bus guy. I'd rather hitchhike.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a great plan.
Fortress Bucks.
Matt's back here again. It says, those aren't pillows would work better if it was reversed. I have such a hard time believe Steve Martin has a pillowy ass.
You know what? Matthew makes a great point there. I do not picture ever mistaking Steve Martin's bum for pillows.
Those tiny little legs. That's an amazingly good point. I never really thought about that.
That's pretty good.
I've got my hand between two old rocking chairs.
Terrible.
So Linda Spheris is one of the set decorators on the show. And Linda Spheris, it's kind of weird because she was she had gone further in her career than her sister Penelope at this point. And so she's the decorator, I think, on the last Starfighter, and then she's the decorator on this. And she's great. Like no one is ever going to complain about the set decoration on the show, which I just find completely awesome, because there's so many movies around this time where it's like, we'll just throw something together. Yeah, it looks like enough like a hospital. Let's go. Like that kind of thing, And this movie does not have that. And I think that probably, well, one, it's because of the guy in charge, because Hughes is that way too. But I think that he hires Linda Spheris because she does such an amazing job, right? And then a little bit later, her sister goes on to direct Decline of the Western Civilization, which is an awesome documentary, which everybody should see if you've never seen it before. Adam, I know you've seen that.
Oh yeah, they've made a couple of them actually.
Oh, have they really? Oh
wow.
Yeah. and then she parlays that into, wait for it, the Little Rascals movie, and then the Beverly Hillbillies movie,
Hey,
which is
I-
just
wow.
so strange.
I love both of those movies.
I bet
Oh,
you do,
wow.
because you are the target audience for
Oh,
those
yeah.
movies when they first came out.
You-
But it's just so strange that the director of the decline of Western civilization then makes these two like movies for kids. It's so strange to me.
I guess they couldn't get a good Ernest gig.
She probably couldn't, Ernest probably, but that's also a really insular group. Like it's a
Yeah.
real popularity
That's,
contest
what-
over
I
there
can't
at
remember his
Ernest.
first name. Cherry is the name of the director. He did all John Cherry, I think it is, that did all.
I think
the,
you're
the
right.
Ernest ones.
With the because he's there with the Disney Ernest movies, and then the ones that are later, even, right?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
wow.
he did Air Ernest, or yeah, whatever the last one was that I showed to seventh graders, and they were just like, "This is terrible." I'm like, "Yeah."
Could they have made a sequel to this movie if John Hughes had wanted to?
Yes.
I wonder which holiday they would pick and how he would set it up, because the idea that I get is it would have to be like trying to go to the beach or something, and then they run into each other again.
The issue is that that big money train is literally with the next movie, and so once that happens, there's no way he's going back to planes, trains, and automobiles. There's just no way, man.
Yeah, Home Alone was such a windfall.
And not only that, but then 2 is almost as big a hit. Like the guy's just printing money at this point, and yeah, who can blame him to be like, you know what, we're just gonna keep making these movies from this point forward because I love money, and so he just kept making movies. You know what? Sure, I have a house at the beach. I need a house in the mountains. Let's make the movie that's a Home Alone, but with a little girl. Yeah.
All of these houses need to be filled with cocaine.
Exactly. Where am I gonna hide my cocaine?
It's like somebody keeps getting Karate Kid money somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's somebody who's cashing.
There's
the
always
Karate right
there's
now.
always a Karate Kid something either in production or out.
Holy hell! How could I have missed this? That's how I know her, because Penelope Spheris is the director of the first Wayne's World movie. God, I'm so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great movie too.
Yes, it is.
She did a bunch of those kind of.
She did. She was a big time. Like she did a lot of videos. She was a video director also. So like that's where she came from. Really lovely.
The lady who plays Steve Martin's wife, I don't think I've seen her in anything else, but I think she looks familiar. Like I think she's got a little Annie McDowell vibe or something. Maybe it's the hair or the nose. I don't know, but something about her just seems familiar.
The problem that I had with her, especially just kind of watching this time and everything, and I say problem, that's maybe a harsh word or whatever, but like interesting that I noted that I was just like, her character is very one note. It's very just kind of there. And like so many times we're just going to like what I would call blank reaction shots from her, where she's just kind of smiling and looking. And it's just like, did you not write anything for this woman? This poor lady.
She's not
something.
It's because she's not a character, man. Like she's a
prop,
like a goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to get to.
Her name is Mrs. McGovern.
We saw this lady on Gen V 2 years ago.
I remember that show.
I don't remember her in that show, but she's in it.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, I was just kind of like, meh. Like I don't like. Well, I'm like, what's Steve Martin running home to? An indifferent wife?
Come on.
I'm not saying
Somebody's got to give.
Seems like she's going like, hi, welcome back. I'm going to stare at you for a little bit. So like, I don't see weird.
Matthew Lawrence's haircut is not the work of a mother. That is a father's haircut. So he's got to rush home to cut his hair.
Wow, it's her second movie.
Well, good. I had no idea.
We really just went with that haircut for a long time there, didn't we?
Yeah.
That weird little, just like, all right, just comb it straight on down, and it's got the weird thickness to it in there and everything. Thank God I didn't have like, my hair is kind of like, fine and everything. So I never got up to big bushy levels. I couldn't do any of that stuff, but I feel like that could have been a fate for me had I had that kind of hair type.
I'd say circa 1978, I had one of those haircuts, but wasn't as weird in 1978 as it was in 1984 or whenever this is.
86, I think.
Yeah, it was a lot weirder in 86 than 78. I can tell you that. I think that this movie is kind of crazy to me because it can still sneak up on people and still surprise people. With Steve Martin and John Candy and John Hughes, the three of them working together on a movie, and I still meet people who haven't seen this and that are my age, and that kind of surprises me. And I was wondering, is it because Thanksgiving is not a very cinematic holiday? Is it because it was released at the time when we're releasing Oscar bait movies? How did this end up being kind of, I hate to call it forgotten because it made like 3 times its budget, but you know what I mean? Doesn't have the legacy other Hughes movies have. Even Beethoven, I think, has a longer legacy than this.
Yeah, 6 films. I don't know if that's right, but it's close. I think part of it is, sadly, and see what you think about this. I think it's the name. I think Planes, Trains, and Automobiles doesn't put asses in seats. I mean, in a modern age, I'll put it to you that way, I suppose.
Something I frequently forget is that this movie's rated R. Do you think that contributes to it?
I do. I think that's a big part of it, actually. I think that people like Adam's parents, or like there's a guy that I know that didn't watch this forever because it was rated R. And then when he turned teenage years, he didn't watch it because it wasn't a good movie. Wink, wink. Yeah. So like it's, like that kind of thing. And so it took him forever to see it because it just, it's one of those back burner movies. Like, oh, I'll see it when I see it. I'll see it when I see it.
John Hughes must have just been in love with that scene where Steve Martin throws all the F-bombs at Edie McClure, because that scene, I think, is probably the only reason this is rated R. And I don't think that scene is worth the $100 million he probably lost by including it.
I don't either. It's fine, but at the same time, too, oddly enough, and this is, if the internet is to be believed, which, as we all know, internet 100% correct, is that scene was something that very much sold Steve Martin on the movie.
Oh, it might have been in it.
There's no way.
If that was in it, Steve Martin's insistence, that would be interesting.
There's no way.
No, I need to be doing this. I'm like,
I do not believe that at all. I think that Steve Martin saw John Candy attached to a John Hughes movie and was like, done, and it's a smartly written script. Like, you don't need anything else than that. Like, oh wow, there's this really fun scene where I get to say fuck 17 times. Awesome. Yeah, it's not that.
It's 1986. Is that what you told me there, Adam?
I think so, yeah.
1986, you can still get away with the gag or the gimmick where every time they curse, car horn honks, air horn blows, and then when Edie McClure says her line, then let her have the one F-bomb.
Well, here's the thing, right? So, yes, that's going to work. Like, absolutely, you can make that happen. You can even make it funny by just covering everything that Martin says, right? Like, you just like beep, beep, or whatever. You can make that funny. You can make that work. At issue is that John Hughes at this point is at his full powers. So John Hughes insists, like, I could totally see that. Like, no, the entire movie, he needs to have this moment. Like, I could totally see him doing that.
And at this point,
and having it be a thing where, and then Edie McClure actually wins the scene is just it's the cherry on top, but it really is the coke fueled ego of a man who's literally at the top of his game. That's why.
And I apologize for nearly interrupting a minute ago, but I also think that at this point in time, John Hughes was kind of pigeonholed into being sort of a teen movie maker. Like, he's making movies for young audiences, for teens. I mean, Breakfast Club, Sweet 16, that's what he was best known for. And I think making an R movie with a couple of middle-aged guys is his way of saying, I make grown-up movies now, and that's why he wanted those Fs in. I'm trying to, assign motivation to someone, but I'm wondering if that could have been part of it.
I'm sure that's a big part of it too.
I mean, like, those other movies are rated R though, so while they may have been made for teenagers and stuff, like all those movies are R rated. So I
didn't
feel like
realize.
I think Sean's right. It's like it's just kind of like, hey, I'm John Hughes. I can kind of do whatever I want.
As
Sort of
someone
phase.
who had a massive, gigantic ego at one point, and when it came to like creative stuff, I, I can totally see myself being there at some point. So absolutely, he could be there. Exactly, he
But
could
doesn't it also
totally
feel
and
like
utterly be there.
this was him like kind of expressing how like what he would himself would really want to do in this particular situation, that kind of
Yes.
like that fantasy of just like, this is what I would say to the person that was doing this bull crap. I'm gonna get this is gonna be my revenge, and I'm gonna put it on film, and everybody's gonna know that this is what I would have done if it would have been me or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes most sense.
Do you guys ever miss Edie McClure?
Listen, she's been showing up in so many films that we've gotten. It feels like she's still here with us.
I feel like she had a huge like 3-4 year span in the 80s, and then I don't know. I guess everybody got their fill of Edie because she didn't like pass away or anything. Her career, maybe she just retired. I don't know, but boy, she got real hot there for about 3 years.
Big heroin addiction. That's her. That's the big thing. You wouldn't think
Yep.
the true Hollywood story, Edie McClure.
It's like, what the hell's going on here? It's like she's just wildlife, yo.
They
It
show her
looks like
turning
she's doing
tricks.
it looks like she did a lot of voiceover work.
Oh, she'd be perfect for that.
And she did a bunch of voiceover work. It also looks like she hasn't done anything since 22, which is sad. But yeah, she did a ton of voiceover stuff.
I was hoping she had like a one-woman show in Branson or something kind of crazy like that.
That would be great.
You could see it. You could see it happen. All right, but we're going to get down to our final review here. Bruce, what is your rating and recommendation for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles from 1987? I was off by a year.
It is my favorite Thanksgiving movie, far and away. Thanksgiving's a holiday where you really don't have a lot of movies to choose from, but man, I love this movie. It makes me so happy despite the anxiety and despite the conflict. The humor just rings through so well to me. This is when I was developing my sense of humor, would have been the time that movies like this were being made. So it really, really strikes hard, particularly since my development stopped at about 13 years old. So I'm giving this the good, solid 5 pieces of Thanksgiving candy.
John.
I don't love this movie. I like it. And it's one of those movies where I understand most of my discomfort comes from me. But there are so many times in this movie where I can't be in the room with it. I just can't. And for that reason alone, I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I realize this is on me. This is not a movie thing. The movie is great. The performances are amazing. This is not one of my movies.
He don't want to live in Stressville, USA. Population him.
I really don't. So it's 2.5 for me.
I'm going a nice solid 4 on this one. I enjoy it. It wasn't one that I watched a ton, kind of growing up and everything. But as years go on, I watch more and whatnot, and I find myself enjoying it even more. And again, relating to Steve Martin in just about every facet of life, of like, oh, now the bus has left me. Now I'm walking all the way to the thing. I'm going to fall down. Now my hat's gone because a truck took it. It's just like I live this life every day. So, I mean, I lost a Leatherman at work. I mean, that's, I'm mad.
Oh, man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
those are
I
nice
bought a cheap knife. So if I lose that, now I'm not going to be peeved anymore. So, this is how life works. And so I get a lot of that from this movie. And I guess it makes me happy that it's not me and it's someone else. And that's how I can kind of look at it. But yeah, 4 stars for me on this one. It's been a good
Can we
job.
go back to the Leatherman thing for a second? I have so many questions. So was it the nice one, the $120 one?
It was kind of the mid tier. It wasn't the new wavy one, the one that is like $200. I don't think it was that. My brother bought it for me as a gift a little bit back, so I'm not sure exactly, but it was probably at least 75 to 100.
Oh God, it hurts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man, I still remember the first blade I ever bought.
It wasn't the machete. That
Oh, it was the machete. Yeah,
was
you don't
the first
forget
one.
you don't forget a thing like that.
No, when your first blade is 2.5 feet long, you're not going to forget that one, I would imagine. No. And we won't forget next week, everybody, because we are going on to the Christmas season here and everything. But you got to ask yourself, what is Christmas? Who knows? But we got a whole bunch of Christmas movies that we wonder if they're pitch the series to us, Sean. You've got a better grasp on this one.
So call it the Die Hard problem, right? Everybody has made the joke before: is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is it not a Christmas movie, right? And so, yes, that's where the idea stems from. But there's a lot of other movies where you can say that about them. Is this movie actually a Christmas movie? There's movies that we have reviewed in the past, sometimes in our distant past. Things like Batman Returns. Is that a Christmas movie? What's another one we did? We did Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3, is that a Christmas movie? Basically, did Shane Black write it? If he did, then chances are Christmas is going to be part of that movie. And so that's what this month is about for us. We're going to get into it. And I think that one of the things we have to do this week is we need to come up with these are the things that this movie needs to hit in order for this thing to be called a Christmas movie. Now, look, I am more than willing to put like 10 of those tenants into it, and it'll be a living, breathing document, you guys. So I'll start it up, and then you guys put in whatever, and then I'll take whatever awful idea that Adam has, and then and take it out, and then Bruce will put something in. And then we'll just keep going from there. And then Adam will have a problem with what he did, and then I'll have a problem with what Bruce did, and Bruce will have a problem with what I did. And it's just a living, breathing document. And we'll figure it all out. And there'll be rules of engagement for whether or not something is a Christmas movie or not.
I like it.
Speaking of engagement, Matt's also asked, will HMP finally cover The Long Kiss Goodnight?
Oh. That is an excellent question, Matthew.
We haven't even covered Phantom of the Amusement Park yet.
Oh, sir. Sir.
Oh, man. I'm going to get into I'm not doing that. Okay, so next week, I think we want to start off with, I think, Catch Me If You Can, right?
Yeah, let's do Catch Me If You Can first. That's a fun one to do.
Man, a good old one when old Leo was really kind of hitting that big giant stride there and everything. Like, he'd done plenty, but this was the point where it was just like, oh, I think this guy can almost damn near do anything. And we'll be getting into that next week with one Senior Spielbergo. Maybe that guy will do something one day. In the meantime, Bruce, people are celebrating Thanksgiving this week, and they should be thankful that you've got a little something special for us this week, yeah?
Yeah, we're doing a different Thanksgiving movie every day this week. The first one went up on the Sunday of this week, which is the day we're recording this, but it'll be yesterday to most of you guys checking this out on Monday. But there'll be an episode every day this week. And if you want to check out the YouTube channel on Black Friday, you'll see my wife and I reviewing Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and see if I'm a hypocrite and say the opposite thing there to what I said here. The world will never know unless they actually care enough to find out.
Absolute diabolical over here. He's
and
giving
that's
different reviews on different shows.
YouTube.com/@AnimeDad. Bruce Leslie, whatever.
Link in the show notes, everybody. Sean, what else?
You can't find me. Adam, what you got?
Don't look anywhere. He's not there. Check out TikTok Trash Tuesday, everybody. I have a good fun time with that over there, and luckily I'm off on Wednesday, so I'm able to do that as late as we possibly can here and everything. So we're gonna have some Thanksgiving fun over there on another TikTok Trash Tuesday. So join us for that, and join us here next week when we're talking Catch Me If You Can for Bruce Leslie, Sweet Sean's a Kovacs from the internet. I'm Adam Portress, reminding you to get out there and watch the movies, you dirty babies.